Local youths look to get Guyana growing again. GPOC introduces new old age pension payment system. Woman killed, husband hospitalized after accident in Berbice. In the region, Jamaicans fear U.S. deportees may pose health risk. And internationally, Donald Trump pledges to bail out America's oil industry. Greetings and welcome to another edition of Channel 2 Headline News Update. I am George Gonzalez. Thank you for joining us. A fatal accident in Berbice has claimed the life of one woman and has left her husband hospitalized. More from Esther Sobers.
Residents of Berbice are now left in a state of shock after a couple was involved in a gruesome road accident on Tuesday at about 1300 hours on number 71 Public Road currently in Berbice. Dead is 58-year-old Lalita Rambaran, and critically injured is her husband, 63-year-old Richie Rambaran, both of Lot 73 Village Quarantine. According to police reports, the motorcar PGG 6698 was proceeding south along the eastern carriageway, reportedly at a fast rate of speed, while motorcar PMM 6565 was proceeding in the said direction. Behind PGG 6698 and motorcycle CE 8684 driven by Rambaran along with his wife. The pillion rider, who was proceeding in the same direction on the eastern drive lane, when it was alleged by the driver of the motor car PGG 6698 that the cyclist turned from east to west across the road into the
For the purpose team as
for Channel 2 Headline News, Esther Sobers.
Thanks, Esther. One man was left dead after a fight between a group of inmates at the Lusignan prison's holding bay. The Guyana Prison Service has identified him as 30-year-old Jason Dundas. He was admitted to the prison on August 30th, 2019 for the offense of possession of narcotics for the purpose of trafficking. A statement from the police last evening indicated that there was a fight among the inmates and Dundas's body was brought out by some of them after the fight ended. Dundas received multiple injuries to his face and body. He was pronounced dead on arrival at the Georgetown Public Hospital. The police have since been called in to question the prisoners to further investigate the murder. As the world begins to accept that the coronavirus and its subsequent effects on society will be long-term, more families are looking to their backyards for food. In this report, we speak to Dr. Omesh Balmakul. He and his team of young persons have come together to get as many Guyanese kitchen gardens started as possible. In recent months, interest in kitchen gardening has skyrocketed around the world, with concerns of consistent and reliable access to food becoming a genuine concern for many. More families are turning to their backyards to supplement their daily meals. With this in mind, Dr. Omesh Balmakun, Managing Director at Guyana Premier and the Miss Earth Guyana organization, collaborated with others to start their project to help get Guyana growing again.
The name of our project is Project Plant. It is quite simple. When we publicize it on our social media, we use hashtag Project Plant. It is as simple as it sounds. It is a project where we tell others or we encourage others to get planting.
Over the past weekend, his team reached out to over 100 disadvantaged families in regions 3, 4, 5, and 6. They put together gardening packages which included a bucket of potting soil and seedlings of peppers, eggplants, bok choy, passion fruit, and lettuce. With so many people confined to their homes, now is a great time to start gardening. However, Balmakun noted that the benefits of having a kitchen garden goes beyond just food.
It allows you to feel at one with the planet. It allows you to practice self-sustainability because at the end of this, you'll be getting back something from it. It allows you to go out and not go out of your yard, but go out, be exposed to sunlight, get some fresh air. And for me personally, most importantly, it helps to improve mental health. And this has been proven. Our mental health, it gets affected when we are in this sort of isolation. And kitchen gardens have been proven to improve mental health. It allows you to feel a bit more free and feel a bit more creative in getting something done. And seeing the progress of a kitchen garden or seeing the progress of growth in anything, it really does put you in a better mood.
Because of the response to the project, his team has decided to expand its scope to target anyone who is interested in starting their own kitchen garden. They will provide free seedlings for those who are in most need. But for anyone who is interested in growing larger amounts of produce, seed boxes are available for $2,500 and multi-level plant boxes are available for $15,000. The boxes are sold at cost. Nonetheless, if you would like to assist Guyana Premier and the Miss Earth Guyana organization in their project, or if you would like to be a recipient, you can contact them on telephone number 612-0247 or visit Guyana Premier's page on Facebook. Vivi Backus tells us that the Post Office Corporation has now changed the distribution method of old age pension payments. For some senior citizens, their payments will come a couple days early. According to the GPOC, the new method is in response to the coronavirus pandemic.
The Guyana Post Office Corporation has announced that the payment of old age pensions will commence on April 29, 2020 at 7 hours at all post offices countrywide. In a press release issued on April 21st, the Post Office disclosed that it has implemented a new alphabetized process which will be used only during the first 5 payment days of the month in regions 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 10. It noted that seniors will be paid according to the following system. Surnames beginning with the letters A to E will be paid on Thursday, April 29th. Surnames F to J will be made on Friday, April 30th. Surnames K to O is set for Monday, May 4th. P to T will be paid on Wednesday, May 6th, and finally U to Z will be made on May 7, 2020. It was highlighted that seniors can cash their coupons any day after the 5th payment date. The Guyana Post Office Corporation said the new measures effectively safeguards and ensures elderly persons can collect their pension payments during the COVID-19 pandemic. More than a week ago, the Post Office collaborated with the Ministries of Social Protection and Public Health, community leaders, and several NGOs to develop an appropriate and safe payment procedures for seniors. For Headline News Update, Bibi Backus.
Thanks, Bibi. Officials of Guyana and Suriname met via video conference on Monday, the 20th of April 2020, with the view of establishing modalities for cooperation to combat the novel coronavirus. Both sides discussed the importance of greater cooperation in their response to the pandemic. They also discussed allowing a limited amount of traffic on the Quarantine River in order to support border communities. A statement from the Foreign Affairs Ministry said, quote, "While both sides of the Guyana-Suriname border remain closed, the parties agreed to immediately implement measures to ensure that riverine communities are able to commute and conduct their businesses to and from points within their respective countries under proper surveillance in order to ensure that the protocols to combat the spread of the novel coronavirus are not compromised." End quote. The ministry is expected to give the final decision on how this will operate soon. Don't go away. After the break, Jamaicans fear U.S. deportees may pose health risk, and Donald Trump pledges to bail out America's oil industry.
Hurry down to Zasco on 15 North Road between Camp and Wellington Streets. Quality products at low cost for every room in your home. 65 and 55 inches Hisense 4K smart TVs. Samsung French door fridges. Black & Decker appliances, queen and king size Canadian-made mattresses. German-made pressure pots in 5 to 9 liters. 12-piece pot sets, knife sets, cutlery sets and pans, commercial fans. Samsung smart stoves. Canadian-made 3-piece recliner sofa sets. Air fryers and Hamilton Beach hot and cold water dispenser.
For that reliable, prudent and courteous traveling experience, your choice is G3 Cabs, located at 228-229 Aubrey Barker Road and Beverly Close, South Renfrew Gardens. travel in comfort and safety with our deluxe fleet of new vehicles and neatly trimmed drivers serving our customers around Georgetown. We deliver cooking gas, small packages, run errands, and provide minor vehicular roadside assistance such as jump starts of vehicles, flat tires, spare wheel assistance, and more. Contact us on 218-4982 or 218-4500. G3 Cabs. You can count on us.
This place is really hot. What's wrong with your AC?
It's not working.
Well, we wouldn't be able to continue this meeting anymore because this place is extremely hot.
Wait, please don't go.
Here's a company you can call to get your AC fixed. Action Cool.
Honey, what's dinner? I had a hard day.
I'm sorry you had a hard day, but guess what, babes? I didn't cook today because the stove is not working.
Having trouble at home or at the office? Then call the professionals at Action Cool. Our fully trained technical team have the skills and experience in repairs of all air-conditioned units, refrigerators, gas stoves, washing machines, and a whole lot more. For further information, visit us at 86 Hill and Princess Street, Mandela Avenue, Georgetown, or call us on telephone number 225-7867.
Oh gosh, what's this? Me son can't read or spell. Stop! 0 out of 20. Is what I gonna do here?
Hi guys, my name is Ms. Berbice and I'm the senior teacher at the Literature After School program. Due to the spread of the coronavirus and the need for social distancing, we have moved our in-class learning activities to online via Skype. On the online site, we will be focusing on spelling, phonics, reading, and the National Grade 6 assessments. For more information, you can inbox us or call us.
Contact us on 675-4379. I can call them now. Hidden Treasures, discovering gems in young minds.
We can reduce the risk of contracting viruses by strengthening our immune system, and one way of doing this is by eating as healthily as possible to support optimal immune function. Micronutrients essential to fight infection include vitamins A, B, C, D, and E, and the minerals iron, selenium, and zinc. Here's what we need to know about the foods we can eat to get them. Vitamin A is found in fish, egg yolks, cheese, nuts, seeds, whole grains, and beans. Vitamin B9 folate is abundant in green leafy vegetables, beans, nuts, and seeds, and it's also added to a lot of the flour that we use in Guyana. Vitamin B12 is found in animal products including eggs, meat, and dairy, and also in some fortified milk. Vitamin C and vitamin E helps to protect our body when we're fighting an infection. Good sources of vitamin C include oranges, lemons, limes, tomatoes, and cherries. In Guyana, one of our cherry has the amount of vitamin C needed for the entire day for a person. Vitamin E is found in nuts, green leafy vegetables, and vegetable oils. Although sun exposure allows the body to produce vitamin D, food sources including eggs, fish, and some milk and margarine brands may be fortified with vitamin D, meaning some extra has been added. Most people need just a few minutes outdoors most days to get enough of the vitamin D needed. And beyond diet, there are other measures you can take to stay as healthy as possible. No smoking, reduce the intake of alcohol or none at all, exercise every day, and sleep and rest well. And please remember to reduce your intake of sweetened and carbonated beverages and drink lots and lots of water.
Welcome back. Now we take a look at news in the region and around the world. 62 involuntary remigrants arrived in Jamaica from the United States on April 21st amid concerns over their health status as the Caribbean nation battles COVID-19. The returned residents were transported in 3 police trucks to the Knutsford Court Hotel in St. Andrew, where they will be quarantined for 14 days as a precautionary measure. The deportation of the Jamaicans from the country with the most COVID-19 infections in the world has triggered health concerns among locals. Some are criticizing the government for allowing them to return while the country's borders are closed due to the pandemic. Concerns about the deportations grew even more when the Guatemalan government disclosed that many of the persons who were sent back to the country recently had in fact tested positive for the virus. However, both the Jamaican government and the United States Embassy in Kingston has sought to assure the public that the deportees will not pose a health risk. Many Latin American and Caribbean countries that produce oil will be hit badly, and the United Nations Economic Commission for Latin America and the Caribbean predicts a 5.3% drop in economic activity. Al Jazeera's Lucia Newman reports.
Venezuela has the world's largest oil reserves, but you'd never know it by looking at the endless petrol queues in the capital, Caracas.
We've been in the queue since 11 last night, and still there are more than 100 cars ahead.
Venezuela's oil industry was already in shambles. Unprecedented low production, U.S. economic sanctions, and low prices made it hard to import chemicals needed to produce petrol. Now the little money that was coming in from oil exports is gone with the collapse of the market. Venezuela isn't alone. Neighboring Colombia and Ecuador, which is already deep in debt, depend heavily on oil exports, as does Mexico, where the number of infections from COVID-19 is rising sharply. Admitting that the crash in oil prices will hit Mexico very hard, President Andrés Manuel López Obrador tried to comfort his compatriots.
I want to guarantee and give you all the security that we Mexicans will be able to face this crisis. What do I base this on? On the fortitude of our country and of the Mexican people.
The crown jewel of Argentina's oil industry, the Vaca Muerta shale gas formation, is now practically paralyzed at a time when the country needed it most to offset a steep recession and debt commitments. Here in Chile, the problem is the plummeting price of its main export, copper. But along with the Caribbean islands, this is one of the few Latin American countries that produces practically no fossil fuel, which means that the drop in the price of oil is actually a bit of good news. But not for long. The UN Economic Council for Latin America and the Caribbean has just downgraded the forecast for the region even further.
What we want to say is that this crisis will create the worst recession in the region since 1914 and 1930. This is the magnitude of it.
A forecast that could be even worse if the price of key commodities like oil does not recover soon. Lucia Newman, Al Jazeera, Santiago.
And internationally, the United States President Donald Trump has pledged to bail out the U.S. oil industry after the U.S. futures market plunged into negative territory for the first time on Monday. That volatility saw U.S. stocks close in the red for a second straight day. Al Jazeera's Gabriel Elizondo reports.
It was an ominous sign for those hoping Wall Street had turned a corner in recent weeks. For the second straight day, U.S. stocks slid at the opening bell as the chaos in the oil markets weighed heavily on investors' minds, and apparently on the mind of the president as well. As the Dow lost nearly 500 points to kick off the trading day, President Donald Trump sent out a tweet promising financial support for U.S. oil producers. Monday's historic crash in the U.S. oil price, deep into negative territory, continued to send shockwaves on Tuesday, with other oil markets also falling. Brent crude, the international benchmark, dropped to its lowest price since 2002. The problems are many. First, too much oil is being produced, much of it sitting in oil tanker ships offshore with nowhere to go.
The amount of volume of oil that is kept in storage needs to be consumed first before the new production can be brought into consumption, into the consumption that is existing right now. So we are looking at years from now before we can see a normalization.
And with uncertainty about coronavirus and no vaccine or proven treatment on the horizon, the market remains uncertain. It was barely a week ago a record deal to cut production by oil-producing countries, including recent rivals Saudi Arabia and Russia. It was meant to alleviate the pressure on prices, but it clearly didn't work. It's another blow to President Trump, a keen backer of the U.S. oil industry in Texas, Louisiana, and North Dakota, all states Trump won in the last election.
The future outlook for oil remains poor. Crude is traded based on speculative pricing, meaning how much traders think oil will be worth at any given point in the future. On Tuesday, the futures market for U.S. oil in June dropped to under $10 a barrel. With the U.S. economy still shut down, nobody driving to work, flying, or traveling, and a realization that it will remain like this for weeks, if not months to come. Gabriel Elizondo, Al Jazeera, New York.
That's all for today's regional and international news. Here is your 3-day weather forecast. That's all for this edition of Headline News Update. Tune in Thursday at 7 p.m. for another episode. Be sure to subscribe, like, and follow us on Facebook and YouTube. Also, visit our website at headlinenewsghana.com for more news. Until then, take care.